When an FDA inspector walks through the doors of a pharmaceutical plant, the entire building holds its breath. I've spent over 8 years in pharma quality assurance, sitting across the table during these high-pressure inspections. You might think regulatory shutdowns happen because of massive, cinematic cover-ups, but in reality, the worst audit observations usually come down to simple, sloppy paperwork. It looks exactly like this: a single red pen mark crossing out a number, a smudged fingerprint, leaving an unexplained gap in the official record. In pharmaceutical manufacturing, mastering these microscopic documentation details is the only thing standing between passing an audit and a catastrophic facility shutdown. To see how these errors actually happen, we have to leave the boardroom and go down to the cleanroom floor. This is where standard operating procedures, or SOPs, are executed. The first major observation I consistently see is incomplete SOPs. These are instruction manuals that simply miss critical steps or lack clarity. When an SOP is vague, the operator holding the beaker or monitoring the centrifuge is forced to fill in the blanks. They have to guess how to execute a highly sensitive scientific procedure. And when operators guess, it leads directly to the second, much more severe failure point: data integrity gaps. This diagram shows a pharmaceutical batch timeline. 3 fatal errors break this sequence: improper entries, missing records, and the cardinal sin, overwriting a mistake. Because regulators rely on continuous paper trails, an overwritten number destroys the chain of trust, instantly contaminating every subsequent step. Inspectors know this. They actively hunt for scribbles, whiteout, and overwritten digits during their investigations because they signal a hidden process deviation. At the execution level, human guesswork and altered data turn a tightly controlled scientific batch into an illegal, unusable product. But operator errors are often just symptoms. When we zoom out to look at the entire facility, we usually find a third major observation driving those mistakes: poor document control. Imagine the logistical nightmare of having outdated manufacturing instructions still in active circulation. Quality assurance might update a crucial temperature limit, but the mixing department is still using last year's form. This is what that looks like in practice: uncontrolled, unauthorized photocopies of procedures floating around the manufacturing floor, completely disconnected from the official system. During a floor walkthrough, an auditor will pick up one of these stray pieces of paper and cross-reference it against the master system. If they find even one unapproved copy being used to make a drug, they have to assume the entire facility's documentation system is compromised. Without strict, centralized document control, regulators look at an otherwise pristine manufacturing facility and see an operation running in complete chaos. The good news is you don't have to wait for an auditor to uncover these flaws. You can proactively identify and fix your own gaps. This animated framework illustrates the industry's ultimate defense against data integrity issues: Alcoa Plus. It means every piece of data must be attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, and accurate. By applying those exact principles to how you prepare and write your SOPs, you eliminate the gray areas. Operators never have to guess. Finding that smudged record or outdated photocopy yourself and fixing the gap in your system immediately stops a minor oversight from blowing up into a major audit finding. Surviving an FDA inspection isn't about luck. It is about aggressively hunting down and repairing your own documentation gaps before the inspector ever sets foot in the building. And that requires a shift in mindset. You move past reacting to immediate errors and establish a state of continuous, everyday audit readiness. This diagram illustrates CAPA, corrective and preventative action. It is a continuous feedback loop, ensuring that when a mistake is identified, the root cause is solved, the SOP is updated, and the error is never repeated. Maintaining this absolute level of control can stretch an internal team thin, which is why bringing in experienced quality assurance support for preparation and gap fixing is essential. Ultimately, a pristine, fully compliant pharmaceutical facility is simply the visible result of perfectly controlled